Good morning. So today we are going to talk about hormones of pancreas. So before discussing about hormones of pancreas in detail, let's talk about what exactly pancreas is. So pancreas is a mixed gland which has two portions. One portion is known as endocrine portion, another part is known as exocrine part. So endocrine part is responsible for releasing hormones and exocrine part is responsible for releasing pancreatic enzymes. The pancreatic enzymes are responsible or helpful in the process of digestion of food. So there are various pancreatic enzymes like chymotrypsinogen, which basically helps in digestion of food. Now we are going to talk in detail about the hormones. What are hormones? Hormones are basically the chemical substances. These are chemicals which coordinate different functions of the body. They are going to coordinate different functions of the body. What are the hormones of pancreas? Basically, the endocrine part of pancreas releases two types of cells. It has two types of cells which releases two types of hormones. So the two types of cells are, one are known as alpha cells, another one are known as beta cells. Alpha cells releases a hormone known as glucagon and beta cells releases a hormone known as insulin. Both these hormones are helpful in maintaining the blood glucose level. So both hormones are going to maintain the blood glucose level. We have a normal range of blood glucose level in our body. So in our blood there is a normal range. Suppose the glucose exceeds the normal range. So insulin is going to decrease the excess amount of glucose and bring it to normal level. Glucose means sugar only. Sugar and glucose are one and the same thing. I am going to use the word glucose instead of sugar. So what is going to do? Insulin is going to do? Insulin is going to decrease the excess amount of glucose in the blood and bring it to normal level. Whereas glucagon is going to, suppose there is a rapid drop of glucose in the blood. So glucagon is going to increase the glucose level and bring it to normal level. So both are going to help in bringing the glucose level up to the normal level. Let's discuss about these two in detail. First, let's talk about glucagon. Suppose I am on fasting. I didn't consume any food for like 20 hours or more. So obviously there is going to be a fall in the glucose or the sugar level of the body, because food is that thing which gives us sugar. Food is something which provides us with sugar in our blood. So there is going to be excess decrease in the sugar or glucose level of the body, basically in the blood. Now what is going to happen? The body, we know it's not normal. There is excess decrease and we want to bring the glucose level to the normal level. So glucagon will be released out by the alpha cells of pancreas. Glucagon will be released out. What is glucagon going to do? Glucagon going to increase the blood glucose level. And what will happen? This blood glucose level which dropped rapidly, it will increase and come to its normal level. It will attain its normal level, right? Suppose if I talk about how it is going to do this, how it is going to increase the blood glucose level, there must be some kind of mechanism. So what is the mechanism of glucagon? The mechanism will be, it is going to break down glycogen. Glycogen is the stored glucose in the body. So it is going to break down the glycogen. This process of breaking down of glycogen is known as glycogenolysis. So it is going to break down the glycogen and result in the formation of glucose. Also, there is a process known as gluconeogenesis. This is a process by which substances other than carbohydrates, for example proteins and fats, these all can also help in the formation of glucose. So by gluconeogenesis also, glucagon can increase the blood glucose level. So it is going to act on the body, and it is going to increase the glucose level. Suppose, let's talk about insulin. If there is a excess amount of glucose in the body, for example, when we intake food, when there is an intake of food, when we consume food, so there is going to have an increase in the blood glucose level after intake of the food. It's very it's a very normal thing that whenever we are taking food, there is going to be an increase in the blood glucose level. Now we want the glucose level to go to the normal state. So what is going to happen? Insulin is going to be released by the body. It is going to be rapidly released by the body, and this insulin, which is released from the beta cells of pancreas, which is going to be released from the beta cells of pancreas, is going to decrease the glucose level and bring it to the normal level. So there was an excess level of glucose, it decreased the excess level and brought it to the normal level. So this is how insulin is working. So if I talk about how exactly it is decreasing the glucose level, it will basically increase the formation of glycogen. Means it will increase the storage of glucose, and it is going to decrease the process of glycogenolysis, that is the breakdown of glycogen, and gluconeogenesis, that is the formation of glucose from proteins and fats and other biomolecules. So basically, as we can see that insulin is acting oppositely to that of glucagon. Both are acting antagonistically. Glucagon, what it was doing, it was basically increasing the blood glucose level, and insulin is going to decrease the blood glucose level. Glucagon was released by the body when there was fasting, whereas insulin is released by the body when there is intake of food. Glucagon was causing the breakdown of glycogen and glycogenolysis and gluconeogenesis as well, whereas insulin inhibits glycogenolysis and gluconeogenesis, and it increases the formation of glycogen. It won't break down glycogen, it will instead increase the formation of glycogen. So that's how both glucagon and insulin are acting. Now talking about one very important disorder, which is diabetes mellitus. Now diabetes mellitus is associated with the disorder of having lack of insulin. Either there will be lack of insulin, or there will be complete absence of insulin. So in both the cases, diabetes mellitus is going to happen. So what exactly is diabetes mellitus? Suppose a person intakes some kind of food. So when the person consumes food, there will be increase in the level of glucose. When there is an increase in the level of glucose, there will be excess glucose. Now we want the glucose level to go to the normal state. For going the glucose to the normal values, we need insulin. The person who is suffering from diabetes mellitus won't have insulin to come and bring the glucose level to the normal level, so glucose will remain in excess throughout. So it is going to remain in excess. It is going to remain in excess. So what is going to happen after it is in excess? There will be many metabolic disorders. This condition, when there is increase of glucose in the blood, this condition is known as hyperglycemia. So this condition is known as hyperglycemia. Meaning of hyper is prolonged or excess, whereas meaning of glycemia is glucose. So there will be increase or prolonged amount of glucose in the blood. So this disorder, what will it lead to? This disease, diabetes mellitus, will happen to the person, and this will lead to accumulation of glucose all throughout the blood. Also there will be glucose in the urine. There will be glucose in the urine. There will be formation of various ketone bodies by this excess of glucose, and the ketone bodies will be released out in the urine and leading to a disease known as ketonuria. So there will be many metabolic disorders associated with the excess of glucose in the blood. If there is lack of insulin, the glucose will remain in excess, and when it will remain in excess, it will form ketone bodies. It will cause ketonuria. There will be glucose in urine. There will be many metabolic defects. So this was about the disease diabetes mellitus, which was associated with the lack of insulin or complete absence of insulin. So to treat this disease, various injections are given, and the injection basically comprises of artificial insulin. So insulin is given intravenously. Insulin is given intravenously to the patients of diabetes mellitus. So that was all about the hormones of pancreas. Thank you so much.